Hi, it's Ulti Carlson here. I don't know how many times I've discussed Batman on this channel before, but I don't think I'm going to be stopping anytime soon. During Amazon's Black Friday sale, I made a purchase I wanted to make for a while because I was able to get a screaming deal at long last. Today we're looking at, from the 1960s, Batman, the complete television series. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. Nice cover art there with Adam West and Burt Ward portraying Batman and Robin. Got the DC Comics logo there, the complete television series, classic Batman logo. Top of the box. Bottom of the box is just blank. There's our spine text. Each season gets its own respective case. Here's the back cover, which has some descriptions as well as some screenshots from the show. Let's see what we get inside this box. There actually is an episode guide in here, so you'll have an easy time finding whatever episode it is you want to watch. So you got Season 1, Season 2, Season 2 Continued, and Season 3. And we'll start with Season 1. This has Burgess Meredith as the Penguin on the cover. There's the spine text. On the back, you got Alan Napier as Alfred and Frank Gorshin as the Riddler. Sadly, the insides of the case are pretty blank and plain, although we do have our discs, obviously. Okay. Season 1, Disc 1, Disc 2, Disc 3. But I don't understand why they couldn't put some art back there or something. And for Season 2, we have Julie Newmar as Catwoman on the cover. And on the back, we've got some other villains. We've got Victor Buono as King Tut. We've got one of the Mr. Freezes. And then we've got Vincent Price as Egghead. There are actually 3 different actors that played Mr. Freeze in the show. We had Otto Preminger, Eli Wallach, and George Sanders. And then Catwoman was also portrayed by 3 actresses, Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, and Eartha Kitt, although Merriweather was only in the feature film. Okay, Season 2, Disc 1, Disc 2, Disc 3, Disc 4, Disc 5, Disc 6. If you look closely, these discs do have the DC Comics logo. They've also got both Warner and Fox logos. Supposedly, the reason this show didn't come out on home video for so long was because there were legal issues between Fox and Warner. 20th Century Fox actually made the show, but Warner Brothers owns DC Comics. I don't know if that's the exact nature of the issue there, but it was something along those lines. And then Season 3, on the cover, we've got Cesar Romero as the Joker. And if you look really closely, Cesar Romero was always this Latin lover type, and he never shaved off his mustache, so it's kind of hard to see, but if you look really closely, you can actually see he just painted over his mustache. And then you have spine text. Back cover looks like you got some other characters. You got Yvonne Craig as Batgirl, who was introduced in Season 3. Season 3, Disc 1, Disc 2, Disc 3. And then the last disc is the Special Features disc. Holy headlines! All 120 original broadcast episodes on Blu-ray. TV's iconic dynamic duo has been captured, along with a legion of abominable archenemies, in this powerful 13-disc collection. Featuring an ever-popular array of guest stars like Julie Newmar and Cesar Romero, a complete episode guide, and exploding with over 3 hours of extras. You can bring home all the crime-fighting action that won generations of fans, fully remastered in HD. The 1960s take on Batman was unabashedly campy and comedic, and there are some people that would actually argue that this incarnation of the Caped Crusader did more to hurt the character than help him, although I would have to respectfully disagree. While there are certainly dated elements of this take on Batman, there's no denying that this actually catapulted the character into superstardom and newfound fame, making Batman more famous than it ever been. Adam West, of course, portrays the title character, Batman, and of course his secret identity, Bruce Wayne, and then his young ward, Dick Grayson, who's also Robin, is portrayed by Burt Ward. And we get a great supporting cast of actors here, including Neil Hamilton as Commissioner Gordon, Stafford Repp as Chief O'Hara, Madge Blake as Harriet Cooper, who's Dick Grayson's aunt, Alan Napier as Alfred. It's an all-around great cast, and everyone plays it completely straight in a pretty zany world. This unabashedly campy take on Batman, again, people have their own feelings about this, but I won't deny that I have a smile on my face every single time I watch this show. But one of the best things about the show, of course, is the Rogues Gallery. So many villains, and usually portrayed by some sort of special guest. I mean, you got Cesar Romero as the Joker, Burgess Meredith as the Penguin, Frank Gorshin as the Riddler, Julie Newmar as Catwoman, and again, like I said earlier, Catwoman would be played by Eartha Kitt in the 3rd season, and by Lee Merriweather in the film. And then they even dug a little deeper into the vault and pulled out some of the lesser-known rogues, including villains like the Mad Hatter and the Clock King. It never forgets that it's campy, it's comedic, but it certainly finds time for action and plenty of innuendos and double entendres as well, so there was something here for kids and adults alike. One thing that people certainly found to be a highlight of this show was the fight scenes themselves, which have onomatopoeia words superimposed over the battles, which makes it feel even more like a comic book in a way. And of course, the classic theme music by Neil Hefti, which once you hear it, you're never going to get it out of your head. As soon as that animated intro starts playing and that music starts going, again, I get a grin on my face every time. Now, the show originally aired in a twice-a-week format, so you saw part 1 on one night, and you saw part 2 on the next night. The first 2 seasons were all 2-parters, I think with maybe a handful of exceptions. And then season 3, it only aired once a week, so they were all standalone stories, but each one did tease whoever the next week's villain was going to be. And there are, unfortunately, some shortcomings with this formula. I mean, there was a review that was written long ago that said something like, if you've seen one episode of Batman, you've seen them all. And a lot of these episodes do stick to formula. There's not a whole lot of deviation. I mean, you pretty much have a villain hatching a caper. The episode always ends with Batman and Robin in dire straits, and through some miracle, they always escape, and then they come back in part 2 and get the villain. But of course, you're going to be having so much fun, you're probably not going to care. This is an all-around great show. Again, there have been darker, more serious, more comic-accurate takes on the Dark Knight since, and I do admit that I prefer my Batman more along those lines, but what Adam West and company did here is undeniably entertaining. And I'm so happy to finally get this on Blu-ray. During Amazon's Black Friday sale, I paid $30 for this. $30 for 120 episodes. That's like less than 50 cents an episode. So how does this show look on Blu-ray? I am astonished by how good this looks. Now, these transfers are about 10 years old now, and I never did get the original big box set with swag that was released. I do like that we were given the option of a fat-free version like this, but the transfers look amazing. I mean, the colors are pretty bright and bold, and there's plenty of detail in the image. Understandably, some of the shots of stock footage and effects are going to look a little dated, but I'm happy to report that for the most part, this is an amazing looking transfer that really shows what you can do with a proper restoration job of an old TV show that's shot on film. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of later TV shows were shot on videotape and they're never going to look great. When you go back to the golden age of TV and you see these shows that are shot on film, you give these a proper restoration, they're going to look absolutely beautiful. Batman is certainly no exception to that rule. As far as bonus features on that Season 3 disc go, we get several, including a look at collecting memorabilia for the show, a round table with Adam West that also includes the likes of Kevin Smith and Jim Lee, a documentary on Adam West himself, people's infatuation with the show and the theme song, and then even some rare stuff from the vault, including screen tests and the like. Now, I only have 2 complaints with this box set, and these are probably more for legal reasons than anything else. First of all, it does not include the Batman movie that was made while the show was airing, which actually aired in theaters between seasons 1 and 2 of the TV show. I've read that the movie was actually aired between seasons 1 and 2, but it was actually filmed after season 2. So if someone could clarify that, I'd appreciate it. And the other issue that I have is in around 2003, there was a reunion telefilm with Adam West and Burt Ward called Return to the Batcave, and sadly that's not included here. I mean, that would have been a lot of fun to have here, and that is a very disappointing omission. But overall, the positives certainly outweigh the negatives. This is a fantastic set for a great show, certainly a dated one, but one that always amuses me and entertains me every single time I watch it. If you can find this for a good price during a sale, like again, I got it for $30 off of Amazon, it's highly recommended. I mean, campy 60s Batman is certainly one of the most accessible versions of the Caped Crusader there is, and it's one that I keep going back to, no matter how many newer, darker incarnations of this character in this franchise we get. How about you? Are you a Batman fan? What do you think of this 60s series starring Adam West? Do you prefer the later, darker, more serious incarnations of the Dark Knight? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give us a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.